Okay, hello everyone. So this is like my second time trying this today. Earlier I tried and then I kind of changed my mind halfway through. Um, the purpose of this is just chat and talk about a few things that I felt like needed to be said. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. I recently received a email from a person that is currently incarcerated, and in the email, they were asking like what is it that people on the outside do that makes them so busy to where they don't reply to emails, they don't reply to letters, and they don't answer calls uh when they try to call them. And for me, that was one of those questions where it's like, I've been in their shoes. I know what it feels like to call home and you know no one answers the phone right then, or to write a letter and to wait and wait and wait to get a response back, and not get that when you really need it the most, or when you feel like you need the most. So as a lot of people may know, I've been home now for almost a year. And the difference between being inside and being outside is it's more busy, because when you're on the inside, everything is set to a schedule. They have you on a schedule. They tell you when to eat, when to do pretty much everything, when to go to bed. So being on the outside, they don't understand. It's not like you have something to do, like you can schedule it like that, because things happen. It's everyday life. It's things going on. You got bills to pay. People have jobs. Kids have to get up. You got school. You got daycare. You got all kind of stuff. Grocery shopping, things that they don't have to do on the inside, and a lot of people don't understand that. And as I try to explain it to them and just let them know, like, sometimes people, it's not necessarily that people don't care or people don't want to take the time to, respond to your letters, but everyday life, it gets so hard and complicated with the more and more things that you have to add on. Like some days you may just get up and decide you only want to do, just do a little shopping, but then, you might get a flat tire, or something might tear up in the house. And it's other things that has to be done, just so that you're good, because on the outside you have to pay your bills. Being on the inside, you don't have to pay anything, as far as having to take money out of your pocket to pay it. They may have medical bills, and to actually pay for food, because the food on the inside is terrible. Honestly, I know it was not something that I liked at all. But in responding to that email, I just kind of let him know that, you know, out here it's a lot that has to be done. So sometimes you're not going to get the replies as fast as you may want to. And that's something that, a lot of people don't hear. Even me, I hate when somebody like, oh, well, I can't do something right now, because when I want something done, I want it done right then. I don't want to have to wait. But in life, you have to learn patience, and that's something that I'm struggling with. But I'm learning that, because patience is something that I lack. But I'm working on, building up that patience. I definitely know not to ask, to pray and ask for patience, because when you pray and ask God for patience, He's not going to necessarily give you patience. He's going to allow a situation or something to happen that is going to help build your patience. You're going to have to learn to be patient. He's not just going to give it to you like, oh, yeah, God, please give me patience. That's not how it works. That's something, I had to learn the hard way. But, I just thought I'd get that off my mind while I was thinking about it. But besides that, it was some other things that I kind of wanted to talk about. I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on, on uh, YouTube, on Twitter, on everything, and I just kind of check stuff out. I never really sit in one place for too long, because it's always so much drama. It's always so much of everything going on, and to me, a lot of this stuff is just kind of, I don't know. It's just a bit too much. I really don't care one way or the other, like with all the crazy stuff going on. everybody has like conspiracy theories and all this stuff. Like I have my own too, but like sometimes I feel like people just go a little too far out with it. And like there it's like you hear it and you're like, they can't be serious right now. But those people are actually serious and they really believe it. Like, I mean, I can't change what another person believes. I can only hear the facts, see what's going on, and try to put it together and put it in a way that I understand it. So that's just what I do. So speaking of this, I'm like a lot of stuff I really don't want to speak on because I just don't feel like it, okay, it's a time and a place for everything, right? So some things I prefer not to speak on because I feel like it's not necessarily my place to actually speak on it. But everybody has an issue with, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have a issue with the way that kids are being raised, and that's a real serious thing because you want to teach your kids and you want to raise them up the right way, but also people need to understand like the way that kids are raised now versus how it was when I was growing up is totally different. Um, I can remember at a time when I want to say my sister and one of my brothers done something. The cops, and then plus we live in a small town, so that's another little factor to add on to that. But the cops sat right outside the house and waited while my mom, they got a whooping. Like the cops stood right outside the door, and he was like, "Hey, you need anything?" And I'm just like, "Hey, what's going on?" So it's different. But now it's like, "Hey, don't touch your kids. Put them in timeout." Actually, timeout works, but it's like each kid is different, and people have to understand that. Like all kids, you can't do the same thing with all kids. You know, you may can pop one literally like, okay, that's enough, and the kid, and then that's over. They don't do it again. The other kids, you might try that, it don't work. So then you're like, okay, what am I gonna do? I got this one kid, I pop him, he listens. I got this other kid, I do the same thing, and it's just like, okay, they cry for a second, they run off, they go do it again. Then you got to figure out, okay, well, what is it that I need to do with this kid? Like, I don't know what to do. Simple. Start taking stuff away. Like, I don't like for my games to be like, I still don't like that. But I hate it for my games to be took away. I didn't like to not be able to go outside and play with my friends, and I see everybody else outside playing and I'm in there looking out the window. So then I'm like thinking to myself, this is me. Okay, me as a kid, when that happened to me as a kid, this is me like, okay, I know what I did. Now, if I keep doing that, I'm gonna be stuck in watching everybody else play. And I wasn't finna keep having it. Like, hold on, bro, you gotta chill. Everybody else outside playing. You sitting here looking crazy, looking out the window, watching them play. And they go by the window, man, look at you, you can't come out. And I used to be mad. Like, so sometimes it's okay to pop kids. It's okay to take their toys away when they don't know how to act. And another thing is if we want our kids to grow up to be responsible and to be, I guess I would say, better than we were as kids, because some of us can sit here all day and like, oh no, I was good. I ain't do all that. I ain't do that. Stop lying to yourself. You was bad as hell, just like I was. But at the end of the day, at some point, we all grew out of it. And if you didn't grow out of it, you had something happen that just changed your whole perspective on everything. And it's like, you know what? I got to get it together. So, with that being said, we have to find a way to pretty much raise these kids the way that they should be raised, so we wouldn't have any of these issues going on that are going on now. Like it's a lot of gun violence, gang violence. It's a lot of things that could be avoided. If we as adults, as uncles, aunts, grandparents, step parents, whatever the case may be, take the time to actually sit there and talk to the kids, listen to the kids, ask questions, try to figure out what it is that the kid needs, because kids all in some kind of way they're acting out is like them pretty much asking for help but not really asking for help. That's their way of reaching out to you as a parent, as a person they look up to. When kids making good grades, and all of a sudden, the grades start dropping. Those are signs, and that's the time when you really need to just kind of buckle down and focus on that kid and figure out what it is that they need. Because before that kid gets to that stage where it's nothing that no one can do to help to get them back into a better place, it's best to go ahead and do what needs to be done then, which is find out what the issue is. If it's bullies at school, they just don't feel comfortable. Whatever it is, like you have to kind of ask those questions. And that's the thing, like we have to work on our communication as a people and start asking those questions because you can't go around assuming things. And me, myself, I don't like to assume things. So I prefer to ask questions. And when I ask questions, I try to be as direct as possible. And I try to, teach my nieces, you know, well, my nephew's not old enough yet, but, I try to teach the kids that I'm around, if something's going on or you have a question, don't be afraid to ask that question no matter what it is, or you just want to talk about something. It's okay to talk about whatever it is because you have to make those kids feel comfortable. Like you have to like it's not as like saying, hey, you got to be friends with your kids. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is make sure you open up that communication to where you can sit there and y'all can discuss anything that may be going on because you don't want to have a kid that feels like, hey, I can't talk to my mom, I can't talk to my dad, nobody understands me, and that's pretty tough on kids, especially at a young age. You teach them at a young age that anytime anything is going on, hey, come talk to me. I'll listen, and actually listen. Don't interrupt them. Like give them that little bit of space to where they can put their input in, where they can say whatever it is that they're feeling, or whatever it is they're thinking, because that's all they really want. They want to be heard. And that acting out and all that other stuff that they didn't do before, that's a way of those kids telling you that they really want to be heard. So what you have to do is you have to just listen. You have to give them what it is that they need the most. You give them that love, that affection. You care for them, you be there for them, and you support them and encourage them. So that was what I want to say for now. So just remember, only thing you have to do is love, support, encourage, and keep pushing those kids to be the best that they can be. And I'm telling you, you're gonna have a team full of winners before too long. So everybody just be safe out there, take care, and until next time, be easy.